This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Mike Haspel. What's up, dogs?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Greetings and felicitations. And I'll apologize like right away. I'm exhausted. I had 70 hours this week and it's only Wednesday and I'm probably drunk. So,
Probably.
well, I've been drinking a lot of
I
this.
mean, like legally. I mean, but that's
Yeah, who knows.
technically.
The best kind of correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do
Technically
shots of
correct.
fiber gummies, bro. You got to get your fiber gummies.
Bro, what are you, like 50 or some shit?
Yeah. I like
knows?
those fiber gummies. I get them at Costco's. At the
Yeah.
Costco's. Because I'm old enough I have to say at the Costco's
Mhm.
and add and add Nest to it.
So me and Mike Haspel, welcome back to the show. We missed you for the last
Thank
few
you.
weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We chatted it up for like 20 minutes before you even got here, Rob. And a couple things came out that we'll lead off with. One of them is he didn't know about the clucking or the rotisserie story.
Yes.
Huh.
So, which I think we've touched on here in the podcast. So were you there for the Would You Rather, or was this before you came back? The
I think I have heard of the clucking, but I wasn't at that
yeah, the Would You Rather started with the hot dog, where like you can only fall asleep if you get hit in the face with a hot dog. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, remember that? And so then somebody at Adepticon was threatening to start icing me with hot dogs. Remember we talked about how we'd have just
like in a cigar tube
yeah,
or something.
exactly. And somebody was like, that's gonna be the new ice, right? And I'm talking to somebody, a friend of the show, and he's like, bro, getting glizzy iced, which I thought was the greatest terminology I ever heard.
Glizzy ice.
If you're not familiar, that's what the current generation calls hot dogs. They call them glizzies. And
which is heresy.
yeah, and they kind of make fun
on its face. It's heresy.
Yeah, and they make fun of you for eating them. They call you a glizzy gobbler.
Oh my god.
Glizzy gobbler.
Yeah, and so
Never had a Vienna beef Chicago hot dog. Poor bastard.
Yeah,
Nope.
poor bastards, bro. And so somebody said, "Are you gonna get glizzy iced?" Ugh, it's savage. And I thought it was the funniest shit I ever heard. And so we're in the hotel room where that hobo picture came from. That's on my current T-shirt run that we went out for my 9-year Twitch anniversary. And I told the story on the podcast, and then it kind of, I mean, in the room, the hotel room, we're all in the hotel room. We all were downloading after Adepticon. You know, we're all crammed in, sitting on the floors, eating pizza. You know how it is. Standard fanfare. And I bring up the glizzy icing thing. And then through just a normal flow of conversation, it evolves. And you know how people just contribute and it just spirals out of control into this new concept of getting iced with an entire rotisserie chicken. Right? And you have to eat the whole rotisserie chicken. Like, boom. Which normally you're like, ooh, rotisserie chicken, this slaps. You know what I mean? But like, imagine
it's like, welcome to medieval times.
Yeah, medieval times. Yeah.
You just get a whole chicken.
And so imagine you're just like playing 40K and someone's like, wow, get clucked. You know what I mean? And you got to eat that fucking rotisserie right there. Just like get nice.
Holy
so
shit.
that, that's funny. That's funny. But this is how it gets hella funny. So Daniel, who was like really into this, who was in the hotel room, he's from the XBZ crew. He's out in San Diego. He's good friends with Wyatt Turk. He thinks it's the funniest shit he ever heard. I'm just chilling in the Beats Lab moments before going live. And I get the doorbell goes off, the ring cam goes off, and it's fucking DoorDash with a rotisserie chicken.
With a rotisserie
chicken. And
dude, that is so diabolical to send somebody a rotisserie chicken that they have to eat like right then.
Yeah, and he did it so good because like Wyatt was like, "Hey man, like what's your new address, by the way?" Like, and I was like, "Oh yeah," because it's Wyatt, right? And he was like, Daniel, I got his address. Here it is. You know what I mean? And so this is where it gets hella good. I'm like, I go down there. My lady's with me. She's Latina, which matters in this story. And she's like, did you order us food? And I'm like, no, like, what is this? And on the fucking DoorDash note, it says, enjoy big dog. And then the receipt name is a lady's name.
Oh shit.
That's
Yeah, that's not
problematic.
okay.
You see, and I was like,
That's problematic.
enjoy Big Dog, you know? And I was like, oh fuck. And
She's
she's
half
like,
Rican, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
like,
that's a problem.
who the fuck sent
sent
you
us
food?
meats.
So we don't know what's in the package yet, though, right? Like, we don't know what's in the package. She's like, who the fuck sent you this? And then this is where it gets super funny. She opens it up. It's from her favorite fuck because like there's no like restaurant in town that's gonna send you a whole ass chicken except like the Latin food restaurants.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like her favorite restaurant in town, and her favorite, and she loves chicken. Chicken's her favorite shit. And she's like, oh, never mind. Tell this bitch she can send me whatever she wants. And she gets clucked. She eats the fucking chicken. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, problem solved, bro. I don't have to sit here and eat a whole ass chicken before the fucking show. And she doesn't care if a lady is sending me chickens as long as she keeps sending the chickens. You know what I mean? From her favorite restaurant.
Yeah, good deal. I'm in fact I'm traveling down there that way for the weekend. I've already budgeted. I'm going to gain 10 pounds.
Oh, for Miami
'Cause,
food?
oh my god,
Yeah.
pastelitos? Are you
Pastelitos,
kidding
yeah.
me?
Yeah.
I'm done.
My
I'm
lady's her dad's straight Cuban, lives in Hialeah, which is where I was born.
Oh,
And every time we go down, he comes and hangs out with us, brings us just a sack
oh yeah.
of like
I just go to
Hialeah
Vicky's and I'm
pastelitos,
like, I
bro.
need 30 of these.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah, bro, yeah. It's so fucking good, dude.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's the that's how the whole evolution of
Glizzy.
getting glizzy iced,
Glizzy iced.
and that's how inside jokes work,
I'm disappointed.
right? So Mike Caspel has before we get into the news, Mike, tell us about what's going on with your shooting. You told me something interesting.
Yes. So I went to a match, a USPSA match, and ran into some people that saw some stickers and stuff on my car and were like, bro, like, is that an Adeptus Mechanicus sticker? And I was like, yes, it is. And then they were like, is that a Long War sticker? You listen to that podcast? And I was
You
like,
listen to that podcast.
I do listen to the podcast sometimes. And then the guy just pauses. And there's like a good 30 seconds. And he's like, are you fucking Mike Haspel? I was like, yes, I am. It was really cool.
That's
It
awesome,
was just like getting called out in the wild. It was
bro.
like, wow.
On the streets, right?
Yeah, at the most unlikely place, because
Yeah.
I would not think that, and it turns out there's a lot of overlap between competitive shooters and 40K.
Huh.
Who
Wow.
would have
Yeah,
guessed?
getting recognized on the street as a legendary Mike Caspel, author of Graveyard Shift, at the event. That's so fucking cool, man.
It was very cool. It was very, very cool. And I made a new friend, and it's awesome.
And you learned a lot that day.
I did.
Mostly that you're not making masters.
No, in fact, I gotta walk that back very, very quickly. So you guys might remember I said something like, my goal was to make master before I turned 55. I didn't know what I was getting into. That was an ignorant statement. It was really dumb. I made B class, right? I might make A class. I don't. There's so much. There's so much that you need to do and learn and get good at and everything. It's basically like if I said, I'm going to be a jiu-jitsu black belt, having known nothing about jiu-jitsu.
In 1 year.
Right? In 1 year. Like, that's not going to happen.
Which
It's
is
just
crazy
not gonna
because you
happen.
know a ton about shooting already. So that's the golf you're talking about.
Well,
Lance.
and even then is like I'm a Nidan. I was a Nidan in Genbukan. I was a Shodan in Bujinkan, Ninpo, right? But that was like 25 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's like for me to like walk into a jiu-jitsu dojo now and say I'm going to be a black belt in a year would be insane. So me trying to say that, I'm like no.
Tech Marine has a good point. Shay says if we start a cult, you can be a master real quick.
Oh, I could. Yeah.
We can start our
No
own
one's
shooting.
gonna-
We can start our
no
own
one's-
shooting shit.
Yeah, no one's going to join my cult.
I'll join.
Yeah.
The Branch Hespilians, I don't think I've seen the ending to that movie and it's not very good.
No, it always ends poorly.
It always ends badly.
No.
So it's like, yeah, let's not go that route.
Yeah. That's why easy peasy lemon squeezy's in chat. He's the biggest fan of the fucking hobo.
I
layout.
love those shirts too, man. I love them. I saw Kenny's Instagram with that shirt. I was like, oh my! I use a Walther PPQ 5 match steel frame
It's sick.
because I'm one of the poors and I can't afford the.
It's
new
so
PPQ
funny. It's
steel
so
frame.
sick. And he's like, and I'm the poorest. When he shows it to me, I'm like, that's so sick. And he's like, it's hobo shit, dude.
It's hobo. I had to buy it on used because I couldn't afford the new shit. The new hotness. I was like, this is the old stuff. I will buy it used. That's what I use.
But so we got some small talk out. Rob, just because we just told 2 big stories, you got anything interesting before we?
I
jump into
mean,
this?
how do I like follow all that? I don't even know what to say.
I had a dream that you flew to a convention last night.
No, that's not true.
And when I woke up, I thought it was like it happened. I was like convinced of it for like hours.
Man, it must have been a really good convention.
Like, so I think that's prophecy.
Yeah.
You coming to LVO this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll see you there.
Yep.
We'll be at the Nugget at 8 p.m.
I also have some bad news for Bourbon Bolters because I had said I was back in it and I was bringing my Blood Ravens. This damn project that I've had going for forever, and that I was gonna finally finish it and bring it to Bourbon Bolters.
And also, instead, never buy the new Grey Knight Codex.
I was never gonna buy the new Grey Knight Codex. Right?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to eat crow because I do not have time to paint Blood Ravens. I haven't painted a single mini because I've been so busy at work. So I'm gonna have to rock Grey Knights, which means I have to buy the new Grey Knight Codex. I have to eat crow. GW got me. Like, damn it. So I will be rocking Grey Knights.
At Bourbon.
Yeah, at Bourbon. I will be rocking Grey Knights, which is unfortunate. I mean, I love the Grey Knights. They're great. They're fine. But I really wanted to get my Blood Ravens done, but it's just not going to happen.
You know, sometimes it's too much, bro. You gotta. What is it? The person that knows that says yes and says no knows the most.
No, I don't know. I've never heard that, but I'm sure that
I don't know.
I said that wrong.
Yeah, I feel like I'm saying I'm sure it's a funny wordplay that you said poorly. You executed poorly.
Kenny, I'm sending you a video. You can play it for people.
Hell yeah.
I want to preface this with.
Is it gonna get us?
No, but you should not. I might be an animal whisperer, and I want to preface this that you should not befriend or ever try to domesticate wild animals.
Oh my fucking god, this video. Hold on, I'm setting this up.
And this just sort of happened. And this is not my house. This was my friend's house that has a chicken coop that I was watching.
Downloading this video. It has been downloaded.
And I made a new friend because they like water.
Oh my fucking
And he just really wanted to be my friend.
Oh my fucking god.
See? That's why you can't come in here.
What's up? Baby, look at this.
You're an outdoor animal. Don't do it.
Raccoon.
That's a straight up like wild raccoon.
This raccoon, he's on his ring cam. That's Rob. Look at him. This raccoon is all into Rob's shit, dude. Yeah.
So I guess the raccoon figured out that he could get.
Let me play it again.
See? That's why you can't come in here.
I didn't realize I was dad.
You're an outdoor animal. Don't do it.
He's on the ring cam. A raccoon comes out of nowhere.
No, he followed me to the door.
He's following him now. He followed him to the door. Now he's following him along his walkway out to the parking.
This is my friend's house.
See? That's why you can't come in here. You're an outdoor animal. Don't do it.
So when I said, hey, Rob, anything interesting happened to you this week? I was totally like, this motherfucker had nothing cool happen to him this week. This is the best thing that's ever happened.
He tried to get in the house, and there's dogs in the house, and obviously that wasn't going to work. I was like, bro, you can't come in the house. And I didn't realize I didn't realize I was dad voicing this raccoon.
You dad voiced the raccoon?
Yeah, you can hear it in the audio.
Oh, I didn't play the audio.
Oh, dude, you got to listen to the audio. It's really good.
Oh, why couldn't I hear the audio?
It should be on there.
Is he still around? Is he feeding it?
Are you feeding it?
No, I did not. So it figured out.
Okay.
Come in here.
I got the audio. It's
You're
playing.
an outdoor animal. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Dog barking. Oh, everyone can hear this.
We can't hear it.
You guys can't hear it.
Yeah.
He straight tells this raccoon, like, you can't be in here. My lady who plays Hello Kitty Island in the room while we podcast, she's watching it now.
I'm invested.
She's so invested in this development. She's watching it so she can hear Rob right behind me. It's so crazy, Rob. That's the coolest thing that's ever happened.
I have more videos. He took a selfie. Yeah, or he did a selfie video. But anyways,
I expect to see some Instagram content about this raccoon.
Well, see, the problem is that, like, first of all, this raccoon is super smart. He figured out how to get into the chicken coop. He figured out that he could take the chicken feed, dunk it in the water, and eat it, because that's what they do. And so when he figured out that I was watching the place and, like, giving the chickens fresh water, he was like, oh, hey, what you doing there? You got some fresh water? And I was like, what are you doing in here? Like, what? And he was like, nah, it's cool, man. And he was just like, and he pointed at the water, like he knew the whole setup.
What
like,
he with his little hands?
Yeah, with his little hands. And then he was like washing his hands in the water, and he was like getting in there. Dude, it was wild.
You're like speaking like everything my lady wants in life is essentially to have, like.
So when they get older, they turn on you. Like, these are wild animals. You cannot domesticate them.
Oh no, like raccoons killed every one of my parents' chickens in the chicken coop.
That's why I was concerned, because I was like, this dude figured out how to parkour into the chicken coop. But, like, my buddy, his chicken coop's like straight up, because he's got geese in there, and those geese are like straight up like handling shit. So, like, I don't think there was any danger.
Bro, like this raccoon.
Are they Canada gooses?
Oh yeah, they're the big ones.
Yeah,
like this raccoon basically put his little hands through the little chicken coop wire, grabbed the chicken by his face, and just like pulled him through the little hole and killed him and ate his ass.
Wow.
Like 6 of them. Like, yeah, they are savages, bro. Like,
this guy just figured out, like, he's like, hey, I can go in here, I can get this food.
He figured out the tech is to endear himself to Rob Baer.
No, it was weird, because I was like, hey, did you know about this raccoon? And he's like, yeah, but I don't see him that much. I don't think he likes me. And I was like, bro, he's all about me.
Did you not pick him up and give him like belly rubs and shit?
Absolutely not.
Well, you fed him.
Well, I mean, I changed the water, and he was very into it. And he's like, what else can you do for me? And I'm like, that's it, bro. Like, you're a wild animal. And he's like, no, I want to come inside. I was like, that's not going to work.
My lady just stated that she wants a raccoon now.
Yeah, that's not good. Anyway, so yeah,
let's do so that's news. So now that we're doing news,
that was news. Don't domesticate wild animals, no matter how cute you think they might be. Anyways, so it was actually a big weekend last weekend for 40K meta. London GT had over 1,000 players, and
nice.
It looks like Chaos Fish Marines took it down.
Wow.
We posted up all the list. I'm sure there's a bunch of videos from other folks too, getting into the nitty gritty. But and Champions Cup, of course. I mean, that one's a little bit different to like judge individual lists, you know, because they're in a vacuum and such.
Team format, yeah.
Yeah, but I actually forget which one. Let me go look. Which one won that Challengers Cup? Oh, it was Corn. World Eaters.
Played by who?
Sean Reynolds. Cam Howard, XBZ's People Champ, won or got second with Custodes.
Cam's good, yeah.
I don't really recognize any of these other names on here, but it was 2 world leaders in the top 8: Custodes, Tyranids, Astra Militarum, Mechanicus, and Eldari. So yeah, I mean, things are changing up. Balance is maybe restored. We'll see what happens this weekend at LVO. There's of course that, and GW came out and said that there is going to be an Ultramarines combat patrol. There is an upgrade sprue that comes in it with the decal sheet, so it's probably going to be $35, just like the Blood Angels one. Now here's what you might not have realized, and I got a whole editorial going on about this. The Imperial Fist combat patrol sold out. The Salamanders, as well as the Raven Guard, says limited stock, while supplies last, which either means that GW just decided that combat patrols aren't really for new people and fuck it, we're just gonna, one and done these things just like everything else instead of them being starter boxes, or their production is behind and they're trying to catch up and they are going to be regular stock items, which means that, of course, the Ultramarines one may just be one and done, not a normal stock item, not the new Space Marine starter box or combat patrol and stuff and such. It's just really hard to say. Nobody knows. GW doesn't even know. GW, I don't even know like what's going on with them. So there's that, and then of course the allocations on the Dark Eldar or Drakari battle force over the weekend. They every store got two, which they paywalled the Archon in there, so it makes it really difficult for folks to get the stuff they want, for stores to get what they want, and it's frustrating for everybody when you don't know your store. You're trying to stock things to sell to people. You don't know if it's going to be like a normal stock item. It's going to be back in stock. You can't get the stuff to sell to people, the new stuff, because that's what sells the most. What can you do? So there's that. And
yeah, and it's like, didn't I see recently like a new Legionis Imperialis release or some weird thing like that, like out of the blue?
Yeah, so they're doing combat forces, which are basically combat patrols for Legion Imperialis. It's just like, I did a whole editorial on that too, because I'm like, all right, look, guys, you can't even make enough 40K shit. Why are you making other stuff that I've never seen a game played of, that everybody says that they wanted it to be epic? They don't want the Horus Heresy. And stores, literally every store I pulled this week was like, nobody pre-orders, and nobody pre-ordered any of the old world stuff, the Legion Imperialis stuff. They're just like, I guess I'm just restocking this week, because nobody ordered any of it. And it's just like, Games Workshop, why do you keep putting resources into things that take away from the resources for the stuff that actually sells, that people want, that
Right.
You're pissing people off. They're going to 3D printing. They can't get the things they want. So you're like, literally, it's that whole adage of you're stepping over a $20 bill to pick up a $1 bill. But yeah, they just keep making money. So like, maybe we're the stupids. It's really frustrating to see and report on each week. There was also a Tomb King's Battalion box that leaked on eBay. So it looks like, if you were looking to get into Old World, then you don't have to buy the whole like starter box. It's $300. You can get one of the $185 boxes, which is good, in theory, I guess. So there's that. What else did I want to mention? You might have read my editorial. I got the weirdest email, and I was y'all, like, seriously, always feel free to email me, like whatever it is, it's fine. But just keep in mind, I'm gonna dig into this shit. It's literally my job. I'm gonna get whatever you email me. If it's juicy, if it's interesting, I'm gonna dig into it, and I'm gonna throw resources at it that you might not even know exist. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it if it seems a little juicy. And like I got a weird email from like this consortium of like concerned retailers that wanted to remain anonymous, and I was straight up like, I emailed them back. I was like, look, guys, I'm about building relationships with retailers. I'm about helping you guys out. I'm on your side. Like, I want to help you. Like, I'm gonna, I have experience. I can tell you things that you don't even. I can solve problems you don't even know you have yet. Like, don't come at me with like some crazy anonymous, like, you're giving me a tip and you're a consortium of like
I
concerned
heard from a
people.
guy at the 31 Flavors last night that
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I know the top dogs. I talk to them like once a week. Like, there's no secret consortium of like retailers out there. Like, shut up. Like, I get, and so what they ended up telling me was, they're like, hey, there's a literal Hyundai dealership in my town, and I'm pretty sure it was one of the game stores in this town. This that sells Warhammer, and I was like, well, that sounds a little
That's
weird.
strange.
I
Now,
was like,
now I'm interested. What?
I was like, all right, I'm listening. Let me look at this. And it turns out, sure as shit. And
What?
you might have seen my post about this. There's a literal Hyundai dealership in some town in California that like, and it doesn't. They don't just like have a little rack of Warhammer. They literally put a game store in their showroom. And I'm just like,
At a Hyundai dealership.
dude, I'm not. You got to go look at the post. You got to go look at these reels. They have a game store in their Hyundai dealership. Like, no bullshit. And they have these reels. They have these reels up. They showed the whole thing. They got racks of miniatures. They got racks of magic cards, all the Pokemons, everything. It's like a mini game store inside there. And somebody on Instagram was like, "Yo, this store is actually legit. Like, I go here because it's like the best store in 2 hours. It's like in a weird like spot in California where it's like kind of north, like almost in Nevada. So there's kind of nothing around it when you look at it on a map. It kind of makes sense, I guess. And I was like, well, that's cool, because the whole editorial was like, hey, is this like the new face of gaming? Because at the end of the day,
their
everything's
prize support is off the chain. You can get like
yeah, it gets you a new Honda. Yeah, like it's interesting because everything is becoming more and more about the experience. Like, I don't know how into retail you guys are, but like, in China, they're like closing up their retail stores. They're turning their retail stores into like literal studios where they do what Kenny does, except for like painting. They're literally like, yo, here's my fresca. Who wants my fresca? And they're like, they'll sell it to you like live. And that's the new retail. And it's all about these experiences and things. And that's kind of the way retail's gonna go.
Rob, are
like,
you
over the
literally
next-
drinking a Fresca?
Yeah, I like Fresca. It's got water, it's got grapefruit. It's better than soda. Um, so it's really interesting, and I'm like, well, is this a gimmick or is this like the future? And like, I don't know. Nobody knows, but it it was really interesting just to kind of see the whole thing unfold. And then actually look it up on Games Workshop's website and be like, oh, this is a literal retailer for Games Workshop. And not only that, but they have a game store distro too. Like, obviously somebody's supplying them with all these things. And it's actually shockingly low bar what it takes to become a Games Workshop retailer. It's just a little bit of a backlog. But the problem is, like we talk about, if you've got these, and I don't know, anything about the store. It could be the best store ever. It could be the shittiest like marketing ploy ever. But like, when you start diluting the pool of like accounts to things like this, or like corner pharmacies or antique stores, which we've all, heard of or seen carry Warhammer, then it becomes more difficult for the stores to actually, have communities to service to actually get the products. So, and here's what it gets even wild. And I haven't talked about this yet, but let's just get wild. All right. So the way Games Workshop does retail now, they've literally figured out how to expand their ability to sell products to stores and not carry any of the risk. And the reason I say this is because whatever gets previewed on Sunday comes out 2 weeks later on Saturday, right? So in that 2 week time period, either Wednesday or Thursday, they talk to the store and they're like, hey, what do you want? And the store's like, all right, well, I think I want this. And they're like, well, we'll give you this. Okay, fine, we'll take it. But then they bill their card and they literally put it in the mail to them, UPS or whatever. They put it in the mail to them. So it gets to their store that Tuesday. Now remember, it's street day. It's still 9 days later. So they literally in their back room have their, say, average $1,000 order sitting in their back room waiting to go out on the shelf. But guess what? The same thing happens that next Sunday. They might make another $1,000 order for the new releases, and then it goes to their back room and it sits there for another 9 days. So Games Workshop has figured out how to, at least here in the States, ship out average order, say $1,000 to 800 accounts, and it just sits there for 2 weeks. Well, 9 days basically. So think about that. They just expanded their capacity of their warehouse.
Their warehouse, yeah, I was about to say that. Like
by putting the risk on game stores to air condition the product to sit in the back of their store
for 9 days. Forever. Forever. Like on
forever.
Yeah.
They're like, how can we increase capacity without increasing capacity? Because we can't increase capacity.
They decentralized their warehouse. Genius.
They're either the smartest company in the history of ever or idiot savants. I don't know which. Because again, they keep just making money year after year. And I don't understand how it blows my mind. It's so clear as day to me, but like I just don't get it. But I think more and more people are onto, all these tricks and all these things and not ordering as much, and obviously the economy is shit. So yeah, so Warhammer at car dealerships, why not?
Fuck yeah,
maybe it's the future, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Hey, if I can go in and buy a car and then walk out with a box of Space Marines on top of that, that's a good thing.
Right?
I'm like, that's okay. I don't see it negative.
No,
that's a positive thing.
I'm also on board with this. I did want to mention that the Games Workshop character encyclopedia that you can pre-order right now on Amazon, it has a street date of next Tuesday the 7th, and I guess until the pre-order ends, you get the free Lieutenant Titus miniature, which is the book's $25. You figure Titus character model is at least $25. I feel like you get the book for free if you really want a character.
If you want a Titus, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it's a win-win. I personally don't like the miniature, but whatever. I think they could have done a little bit better of a job with it. Wyatt would fight me about that, but that's okay. Dawn of War 4 got a new trailer. Looking pretty fresh.
It looks awesome.
Oh yeah.
It looks so good that I'm worried.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that those were in-game renders, so those were like actual gameplay, like you could zoom in.
Like it looks so good that I was just like, man, I don't want to get on the hype train. And the other half of me was like, get on the hype train. Get on.
Your so-called chip was activated.
It was activated, and I was like fighting it. You know what I mean? Because I've been so let down over the last decade by everything that it was like
by everything.
Well, that's the truth, unfortunately. But I was like, this is actually what I want. This is like freaking perfect. Like it's so good.
I think it's gonna do well.
Yeah, I'm trying to fight the hype. It's like I'm trying to fight it.
You're trying to control.
It's a losing battle.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
I mean, day one were like, hey, we know the last one sucked. We're getting back to the roots. Like, oh, okay.
I mean,
That definitely makes sense. Cherokee Open was announced. It's going to be February 20th to the 22nd. Also, the teams tournament is about a month before that in January. Actually, I think it's the first or second weekend in January. I forget exactly. Las Vegas teams. What else is important? Oh, StarCraft miniatures game. They're the team from Archon Studios actually went to Blizzard in Irvine and play tested it with some of the writers and developers of the game, and apparently went over well. So they're still working on
So
all
everything has come full circle.
that. Well, sure has.
We have a
So
StarCraft tabletop game now.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's kind of
Sounds promising.
Being played at Blizzard,
at Blizzard,
Blizzard.
yep.
which is where, like, if any young heads in the chat, like, that's the an OG conspiracy theory level, like statement on the internet was that GW sued Blizzard for StarCraft because it's clearly inspired by Games Workshop Warhammer 40K. That was used to be.
and there were a bunch of different theories about that. Like it was.
I
like-
actually know the truth. I was actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we might have had that from the horse's mouth.
I was actually
we
in the
might have
living
talked
room.
to the guy.
Yeah. So I actually know the truth. So I know there's no lawsuit,
No.
and any inspiration was purely because turns out a lot of people, at least in the era at Blizzard, are massive Warhammer fans.
Yeah, and
But-
and they share DNA.
But
That's what it is.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
there
yeah.
was never a lawsuit. There was a discussion though. There was a
Yeah.
discussion, and the discussion was just led to an annual powwow where they share information.
Yeah.
So that they know that they don't. And
I'm going to speak a heresy right now. Dawn of War is better than StarCraft, and that is a heresy because very clearly, like StarCraft doesn't like StarCraft has competitive teams. I mean, the Koreans had a military team that did nothing but play StarCraft, like for real. Like look that up.
Yeah.
Like they had a professional team in their military that played StarCraft. It's like holy cow, right? It's like, but I think Dawn of War is a better game.
I agree. Rob, you gonna talk about this 3D printing thing?
Still kind of researching it, but yeah, apparently there was a bit of a inside job at Games Workshop, and either some 3D renders or actual 3D STL files were posted up for download apparently over the weekend, and a lot of people got them. So I don't know exactly what was out there and what was had, but I'm looking into it very excitedly, because I always thought the 3D renders on their site was a bit archaic these days, and you can do a lot more with them. But I think if something like that happened, I would say it's an inside job. But what do I know? Somebody not getting paid for something and then accidentally, oops. There has been, I mean, it's not like speculation to say, I mean, it's very observational math. Like we don't have videos in the Sunday teasers. We have in about 6 months or so. So clearly there's a talent drain there. The Warhammer community articles that are going out are, I want to say garbage. Like they don't make sense. They don't have details. I called them out that they were AI because there's telltale signs. And then since that content went out, they have been very eager to mask those telltale signs. So that's interesting. And then also we know that supposedly the editor of Warhammer Community may have said a lot of things on the internet recently over some political stuff. And I don't know if he's still there. I don't know if he's not still there. I don't personally care.
Oh man.
But there might be a lot of folks not there anymore because of things said. So it just seems like the hits keep on coming, but GW keeps making the money. So what do I know?
You don't know shit.
I don't.
So let's do a commercial break and let's see if we can spend 18 minutes talking about our show notes.
Times are changing.
Look, Rob, ladies can do things now. Okay,
What is this, Peaky Blinders?
we got diversity now. Okay,
Huh.
and that's not just
Okay.
an old wooden ship.
Oh, a Skyrim reference. Damn, dude. I still haven't finished that game.
No one has. Let's see if we can burn some time. We do have some show notes. The death and rebirth of the friendly local game store, which I think is pretty relevant, especially since we just talked about this Hyundai dealership that slings where before he came in,
It may be the dopest thing ever, but I
it's
just
hard.
don't know.
It's hard to tell. And before we jump into it, I got some questions. I'm gonna throw you guys. But we're friends with the Bolters at Dawn crew, and I've told you guys how impressed I am by their model. And Rob and I theorized this model like a decade ago, like the whole kind of gym membership model, where you'd have 24-hour access, a gym fob, dope, vending machine options, things like that. And we'd always said that if you're a game store and you're struggling and you try to convert to that model, it's probably not going to work. You kind of have to build around that model, and that's kind of like what Bolters at Dawn did. But they did it. Even they told me it was still hard because it still took tons of volunteer elbow grease just from the people who had the vision, relationships, connections, locations, because they had to get a location that they could even afford without actually money yet. Because you can't just take a bunch of bank loans and say, I'm going to create this gym and I need 75 members and then we break even. That's never going to happen, bro. You're going to lose your ass.
You can. You're just gonna go out of business and be bankrupt right away.
So there's a way to do it, but I feel like there's always an evolution, right? There's always you have to roll with it, evolve with it, and so we've seen some incredible game stores in our life that just bring the heat. Did you just hold on a second?
No.
Did you just DoorDash me a Heineken? I love you.
That's awesome. That is awesome on a
Heineken, huh?
Bro. I just want to say that's my life. I don't know what the life you guys live is.
Living the best life. Awesome.
So, having said all that, we know what the best of it is. Okay, let's talk big picture shifts. Mike Haspel, do you think the brick and mortar game stores can survive long term in an age where players can buy everything online with a click?
Yes. And the key to it is you have to build community.
Mhm.
That's the key, right? Is that you build community and you build loyalty to that game store. And I'm speaking from experience at Gamers Haven. Gamers Haven is a whole thing. The folks that play there are not just players. They are a community. People care about one another. If somebody goes to the hospital over something, they get flooded with visitors from the game store, bringing them shit, bringing them so much stuff that they need boxes to take it out of the hospital stay. That's what legit happened. You know what I mean?
Gamers Haven's on the list. That I didn't say their name, but Rob has been there. He was so impressed.
Yeah, a guy
Very
had
nice.
some medical issues, went to the hospital and had so many visitors bring him stuff that he needed boxes and help moving out.
He needed luggage and shit to get out of the hospital.
To get out of the hospital.
What shows you that community is first. So
community is first.
So yes, they can survive this era as long as community is first. You can't just say I want to do business. And this is a funny. And I'm going to ask Rob a question in a second, but this is something I've always kind of theorized. Me and Rob have had a lot of business discussions over the last decade.
True.
And I used to, I've had this argument with people before where they're like, oh, I have this idea for a business. I'm like, okay, tell me about it. And they're like, we could change the world by doing this really good thing. And I was like, yeah, but how do you make money at it? And they're like, no, that's not the point though. The point is we got to do a good thing and then the money will come. I was like, here's what's interesting. The crossroad nexus between the concept of doing the most baller job possible and making money, they will intersect. But if you start with how do we make money, you will eventually cross that when you realize is by providing the best experience, providing the best product. But if you just say we're doing the best product right now, fuck making money, you will go out of business. So you have to be extremely frugal and an extremely thrifty businessman out the gate. regardless of whatever endeavor. But you will find quickly that the answers always do lie in providing the best experience, providing the best.
What is, and it's not, this is far from unique from gaming, right? But it's, what's interesting about it is it's a volunteer endeavor, right? It's like, yes, in the past they had like the Outriders and stuff like that they would pay in product or in whatever to run events or whatever. But nowadays that's all gone. So nowadays, if you run events like whatever, RTTs or tournaments or just events, right? It's an all volunteer thing. And I'm consistently amazed at how many people are willing to step up and run stuff, right? And it's like, whether it be Dungeons and Dragons, whether it be 40K, whether it be Magic, right? There's people willing to step up and go, "Hey, I enjoy this hobby. I like to partake in this hobby. And in order to partake more in this hobby, I might have to step up and run shit." Like, that's a thing. Like,
Yeah.
you have to do that.
It's true.
Rob,
I think one place where game stores could be a little bit better, right? And is maybe hosting how do you run a tournament, because everybody like has to figure it out. And it's like, there are folks that have done it like us, right? We know how to run tournaments now. We could easily pair with a game store and go, we'll bring folks in to go, here's how you run a tournament. Here are the tools that you use. Here's how you resolve conflicts. Here's how you do all this stuff. You know what I mean? I've actually been thinking about that, but unfortunately I haven't had time. It's like, cause I don't want to run tournaments anymore. I want to play in them.
Right.
But I need somebody to run the damn tournament. You know what I mean?
Games Workshop says on their website that they provide resources.
They used to. There used to be, I still have it. There used to be a whole how to run a Rogue Trader tournament guidebook.
I know. You gave it to me and I posted it up. But they say that they incentivize game stores to, like, provide. It's basically they give stores store credit like twice a year to, like, I think they're supposed to give to the people that run events and stuff. But I mean, come on.
But it's not even just tied to just 40K. Like, it's like D&D, right? People are really intimidated by being a DM. Well, how do you get to be a good DM? By DMing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could easily host like a little seminar to go, here's how you DM, and have people actually play your game and role play it. You know what I mean? Like, quite literally, where you every half hour or every 15 minutes you swap who the DM is. I think running a 40K tournament is harder than DMing by a lot. Because there's like actual like mathematical resources involved.
Yep.
that's fair. I agree with that statement, but I also think having a sick DM on standby for this feeds into this question, which we've already kind of touched on. Rob, are we headed toward a future where the physical game store is more of a clubhouse than a shop?
I think I've seen it both ways, to where you have to pay a membership to even, have the dedicated play space and be able to be first in line for pre-orders. There's actually quite a few stores that I know of that do that. And then there's always there's just a straight clubhouse model. So, like, there's stores out there that like, yeah, you can walk in off the street and get some stuff off the shelf, but if you want to be able to actually get the good pre-orders, you're gonna have to pay like a monthly sub to get in line. But then, even when you got stuff like the Dark Eldar box, there's 2 to a store, like,
Can't do
it can only be so many people, right? So I think it's already kind of happened, like an amalgam between the two.
Because even what Mike's talking about is a fucking clubhouse, bro. I don't care if they have to pay dues or not. That's a clubhouse. So it comes back to the community first statement.
Yeah.
And I would say, if you define clubhouse as membership dues, no, I don't think that's necessarily the trend. But if you think of like Clubhouse, meaning everyone knows everyone, and
Yeah.
it's like Cheers, right? That's
Yeah.
an old reference, but still, like where everyone knows your name. Like you see the crew, the regulars, right? Like
Yeah.
that model is the future. I do believe. I do believe people crave. And Rob, you're more connected than anyone. But I do think that in this day and age of technology, where we have whatever the fuck we want, I feel like craving that experience is at an all time high. What do you think?
Yeah, it's super at an all-time high, and we saw that after the pandemic. Like a lot of these businesses were realized that they needed to transition to more of like a lifestyle kind of model. Like, hey, you come in, you hang out, you do your stuff, rather than just a place that like sells you shit. Like, I was shook. I recently went up north, to a bank that I bank with. It's a nationwide chain. And I walked in and I thought I was in the wrong bank. I was like, oh, did I go into like the mortgage center? And they're like, no, you're at the bank. And I'm like, is this a Starbucks? Like, what is this? And they're like, no, I can help you. And she had the little iPad and I'm holding a check for a lot of money. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, I need to deposit this. Where's the teller? And she's like, I can take it. And she had her little iPad and she could scan it and put it into my account. I had to authenticate all my things. And I'm like, well, where's the tellers? And she's like, back there. And they had these like double doors that looked like some fancy like library thing. And there were, you open them up and then there was like all the, the bill stuff and the machines and everything. And I'm like, I was like, all right, you gotta explain this to me. I was like, is this a new way of banking? Like, what is this? Is this a prototype? Is this like is this something that y'all are trying out? She's like, no, all the banks up here are like this. And I was like, oh, I was like, where I'm from, the old folks are not like this. Because it's not like that you go into the tellers and they have the offices and things. It literally looked like a Starbucks, but it was my bank. And I was like, this is cool. Like,
Yeah,
I was like,
the experience is high. It's the yeah.
people
Like that,
come in and they do their work there, and it's like they had the I thought they were like people's offices, but they weren't. You could come in and do your work, like telecommute, like at the bank. And I'm like, huh, okay.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, so I'm gonna move off of this community topic because I think we've made our point clear. Mike, what lessons can tabletop shops learn from the collapse or adaptation of comic book stores in the digital age?
Oh boy. Well, I think the model of the comic shop, unfortunately, is tied to the product. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
from about 2015 or so, comics went right down the tubes because of creative bankruptcy and wokeness and a bunch of other shit. Their product died. And then what is baffling to me is that they had a product that failed in one medium and they recreated that product in another medium and then were shocked that it failed like a decade later.
So
I was
that's the
like,
lesson. That's a completely different. That's why I love asking my questions. Like
yeah,
fucking,
I
like
don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with that because there's a woman out there, I don't remember her name, but she was like famously said, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. And she was talking about comics and she was a comic book person. And it's like I'm from the era where I remember comics selling millions of copies. A single
Mhm.
comic
yeah.
could sell millions of copies. And now a really good comic will sell 100,000 copies.
Mhm.
You know, the industry
So
is
with that
essentially
data,
collapsed.
how does GW relate to that data?
Well, it's all about IP, right? And it's like you can't. And if I was a store, you can't go all into one IP, right? So, and you've seen this happen more and more, where folks are like, "Oh, we're a game store," but they're really not. They're a Magic the Gathering store, right? They're tied to that, and then Magic will now sell like whole boxes to Amazon instead of to a game store.
They
And
do a lot of direct to consumer now. Yep.
yeah, and then now that game store is hosed, right? Because it's like
They're hoes that
if
they're all in on that.
if they're all in on just Magic the Gathering, right?
If
Which
you're all
is-
in
it's
on
like-
selling sealed product,
Which is
that's a
the lesson
problem.
because it's the
Yeah.
adaptation. How do you
Yeah.
adapt? You adapt by you can't be all in on something. You gotta work the community. You have to have
Mhm.
multiple communities. When I ran my game store, and I did it for a year, I failed. But we learned quickly you had to have a Yu-Gi-Oh community, a fucking
Yeah,
Pokemon
you
community.
have to embrace
we had,
multiple
shit,
IPs.
we had to have a Smash Brothers community. We had to have you know what I mean? You got to be able to, and that's what you talked about earlier, Mike, about teaching a class on like running a tournament. Is that
Yeah.
if you taught a class on like running a community, it's like, bro, we've said this before in the podcast. There's a guy in your store right now who is the Pokemon guy, who is the Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
Right.
Mhm.
You need to get all those motherfuckers in a class together, and you'd be like, guys, we need to run leagues on this shit.
Well, the thing that frightens me for the game store more than say comics, like I don't think it's comparable to comics so much as it's comparable to model railroads. And to me that's the danger, because when you see model railroading, that hobby's dying at a
Mhm.
rapid rate. You know what I mean? And it's like not replaceable. And that's what frightens me when I see the brick and mortar game stores, is that, they're but for the grace of God go we, right? Is like that's the danger. If you cannot replenish, and I don't know what the average age of the 40K player is, or Warhammer player, or miniatures player for that matter is, but I will bet money it's probably on the high 20s as the average age.
I've heard a lot of I mean, I can tell you right now the demographics for the site is 26 to 34, but what I'm seeing a lot more in stores and hearing from store owners is it's upper 20s, early 30s now. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's the folks playing,
and it's getting
because
more expensive.
that's
So
the
you're
folks with
like,
money.
you need high school kids. Like when I was in high school,
Mhm.
when I was getting into miniatures, right? And I was playing Space Hulk and I was playing BattleTech. Like I didn't even know Space Hulk was tied to 40K, right? But um I was just like, I was playing those things in high school. Those were my heyday of BattleTech. Like I was the most I've ever been into BattleTech when I was in high school. This is like late 80s, right? I was playing Space Hulk. We were playing Blood Bowl all the time.
Mhm.
I don't think a high school kid could get into Blood Bowl right now. I just don't think they could afford it.
Agreed.
It's a problem.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing, is that if you don't get the new blood in there. Now granted, there's a whole other category of new blood, right? Because we have those early 30-year-olds who are now dads, whose kids are now starting to get old enough to play. You know what I mean? And so now they're going to get roped in. And you have all those Barnes and Noble games, the big box games, right? That they come out and they're geared towards like 8-year-olds, towards like, very very new painting, and hey, we're going to simplify this. It's like Rise of the Necrons and Rise of the Orcs, and the new Dawn of War board game that they came out with, that you can buy into for like $50 at Barnes and Noble. And you can totally play that with your 8-year-old kid. And that plants that seed. You know what I mean? Because now he's got a squad of Marines and he's played with them before. And maybe he wants a tank to go with him, or some more Marines, or a dreadnought, right? And that seeds that in there. But I'm like, that's where we have to get the new blood.
Agreed.
Otherwise, I mean, I'm not getting any younger.
Man,
It's like,
well said, brother. Like
Mhm.
that's the facts, dude. Like that's like, I mean, to summarize this topic before we get out of here, what we have is community. You need it. Uh, volunteer work. meaning roll up your sleeves. You gotta do some shit for free. And product diversity.
Yeah.
You know, like these are the tools. These are the answers for a game store to survive in the modern era. Anyway, I don't know shit. I'm a fucking miniature painter. Mike Haskell, you got something dope to take us out on?
Sure. BALANCE. Balance.
The fuck is that?
That's an obscure one.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
That one over my
We'll see
head.
if anybody in the chat gets it.
Yeah, we'll let the chat just work that one out. LVO this weekend. Longboard
Yeah.
doubles on Sunday. Come by. This is our last podcast before Las Vegas Open. You can still sign up. You can sign up on the day. We are upper 40s, which is 10 below our average for LVO
For the double.
for the doubles. Come by. We got mats. We got dice. So, Rob, take us out of here.
Well, that's it for this one. Thanks everybody for watching. For exclusive content, early access videos, and more, head on over to the Long War today.